Top 10 secrets of Naples, Florida. On today's video, I'm going to tell you 10 things that are highly guarded secrets about Naples, Florida. I'm sure some of these secrets are rumors you may have heard about Naples, while others may be a completely new, shocking thing to you. Regardless, we're going to tell you 10 things about Naples, Florida that the average person that lives there may not want you to know. And it's no surprise that one of the wealthiest communities in the country has its secrets. Number one is dirty money, old money. Now, we all know that in Everglades City, there was a huge bust in the 70s and 80s when the cowboys were bringing in tons from Colombia. But the waterways of the coast are not just limited to Everglades City. The Gordon River that backs up into the Naples Bay, Wiggins Pass, are also very acclaimed routes for importing the products of the Caribbean and beyond. And it is rumored that many of the lawyers, doctors, and very wealthy people from downtown Naples, old Naples, a lot of their old money came from the activities that was infamous in Collier County back in the day. Stories go about, quite interesting, about the old dirty money of Naples. Number two, the labor force in Collier County is largely illegal immigrants, and it goes just beyond agriculture and landscaping. We're talking hotels, resorts, restaurants. A huge percentage of the labor force down here is illegals. And while most people who live here would proclaim that they are against that, they benefit greatly. In fact, it's understood vastly that the large contrast of poverty between Naples and Immokalee, one of the richest communities in the country and one of the poorest communities in the country, where the labor force for the extreme wealthy is some of the poorest communities in the country. And it is in fact true that a vast majority of the labor force in Collier County consists of nothing more than people that are illegal, many from Haiti, many from Guatemala, and other parts of the world. Moving on to number three, money laundering. Much of the businesses in Naples are nothing more than a cover story. Many people working in the Naples area have admitted that the companies that they work for seem to have absolutely no other purpose other than to money launder. Many people in the Naples area have found themselves working for a company that after a while you realize has no real purpose. A vast majority of the money the company generates is from special catering events or special services that the owner of the company just happens to be doing in his free time, and these contribute for the vast majority of the company's income. And many of the employees have also noted that there's not even a strategic plan in place for the company to generate money, bringing up questions of the real purpose of these companies. What's really going on? Number four, African American history. Many of the locals in Naples, old timers, know that as you're driving over Pine Ridge Road near the intersection of Goodlett Frank Road and US 41, you are driving over the grave sites of African Americans. While the whites are buried off to the side of the road in Rosemary Cemetery, underneath the ground, you're driving over black cemeteries. And this is no secret or surprise. Tampa, Florida, the Robles Park housing project was built over African American grave sites. During recent construction in Tampa, it was found that there were grave sites underneath the buildings that people live in today. And the same thing can be said about the cemetery that also has many people that disappeared during a quote-unquote tragic accident in the railroad. No real explanation was ever given. The mysteries of Naples. Moving on to number five, slavery as late as 2006. We are not making this up. In the Immokalee area, the eastern sections of Collier County, in the tomato fields were real slaves. These rings were only busted when the children of these slaves started to go to school with other children, and those children told their friends what was going on. And a youth rebellion of teenage gangs went out to create posters and messages all over the metropolitan area, many times illegally in the form of graffiti and vandalism, to bring awareness to the people in the vicinity that this was going on. Many people would recall the slavery of Immokalee as late as 2006. There are documentaries on the internet about this. Number 6, Florida Panther habitat. The Golden Gate Estates in Lehigh Acres are the most attractive places for builders to build homes endlessly for decades in Southwest Florida because of the drainage and elevation. However, this also happens to be the prime and almost only habitat of the Florida Panthers in South Florida. And while many efforts have been made to quote unquote create protected areas further inland, the Florida Panthers don't inhabit these areas. And to this day, the vast majority of the Panthers are still within Lehigh Acres and the Golden Gate Estates, with protected areas like the Florida Panther Preserves being completely devoid of panthers because it's not their habitat. Moving on to number 7. In this same habitat within Collier County limits are almost 1,000 black bears. The vast majority of these black bears are within the eastern edge of the metropolitan area in semi-rural parts. The black bears also inhabited this area that has now been developed, and the remaining 1,000 black bears in Collier County are all hanging on to the edge of the urban core. If you were to head deeper out into areas like Black Bear Island, your chances of finding a black bear are slim to none. However, people in the Golden Gate Estates will find black bears on their property on a weekly basis. The habitat of black bears and Florida panthers just happens to be the most desirable site for new home construction. Black bears are more common?
Oh yeah, very common, man. And they'll come in your yard and they'll actually come up on your porch and smell through your door and go out and tip your garbage can. You go out, holler at them, they just look at you like, you got something for me?
Yeah, how big do they get? Like, how tall?
Oh man, the biggest one I seen was probably about 600 pounds, 650.
What?
Huge. And it still roams around here at night. I mean, I could take you over here and you can see some garbage in the bushes where he drags it over.
Moving on to number 8, a secret cypress tree in Naples, Florida. It is one of the largest in the state. It can only be accessed on foot in years where there's an extreme drought and the water's level drop way below what is normal. Most of the time, this secret cypress tree is inaccessible, and it's in the smack dang heart of North Naples. It's not way out in the Everglades, it's right in North Naples. Unfortunately, the construction of a new school is encroaching very close to this tree, and it's just a matter of time before this absolute wonder of nature, believed to be over 700 years old, will be demolished and turned into a private community or another furniture store. Hidden in plain sight, an absolute wonder. Moving on to number 9. Very important people live in Naples, Florida. Hidden in plain sight, just like that cypress tree, are very powerful people that live in Naples, Florida. Some of these people supposedly may not even be alive anymore. Who knows? But Naples, Florida has, throughout many of the more isolated regions, properties that are owned by very important people. Some of these people, for practical purposes, are hidden from the public eye, and they reside quietly in some of the most remote and hidden parts of Collier County. Many people who live in Naples, Florida, at times have reported working on properties of people you wouldn't believe own properties here. These people claim to live in other parts of the world or other parts of the country, but are really hiding here in Naples. Number 10. One of the biggest secrets about Naples, Florida, is that these giant properties that you're looking at are mostly empty second homes. They don't have their antiques here, they don't have their jewelry, they don't have their family heirlooms. These are just their second homes, and their real properties are in other parts of the world or other parts of the country. These homeowners at times will get stingy and act like they can't afford services, but the reality is clear. These are their second homes, and the amount of wealth that some of these average Naples people have may be a staggering amount of money, hard to comprehend for the average person just working for them. In fact, these are second homes, and they have a real hard time just admitting to the fact that they have so much money that the vast majority of us can't even comprehend. Many of these people's incomes is far greater than any money they could ever spend. That means even if they tried to spend their money, they couldn't do it. But it is a secret that they try to cover up or try to disguise the fact that these 10, 20, $80 million homes are not even their main residencies. It's just something to come over here for a few months of the year, or if their friends come to Florida, they can say, you can stay at my place. But these $80 million houses, the vast majority of the time, are just sitting there vacantly. So much money that they don't even know what to do with it. These are 10 secrets that are highly guarded of the people of Naples, Florida. Between the wealth and opulence of this place are hidden many secrets that are hiding in plain sight or meticulously covered up so that people may not know how their wealth was acquired or what practices are taking place today to continue to amass wealth to the detriment of black people, graves, and black bears, or anything that's black, really, including this black car right here. Did something on this list shock you? Is there something that I said on this video that you think is a lie or inaccurate or exaggerated? Or do you want to confirm some of these mysteries? Anybody who grew up in the Naples area knows that the history of this place is infinitely complicated, and the old timers will tell you that some of the money that was made here many, many years ago has questionable origins. Naples, Florida, a place of mystery and mystique and horrible barbecue.